Hey everyone, welcome back. Happy Monday. Apologize for the scratchy throat. For whatever reason, I got a scratchy throat or a sore throat over the weekend. Might have heard it last night on the spaces with Ernest that I did last night. That went a little longer than I thought I was going to go to. So that's why I didn't do a show last night. So we'll take a look at obviously what happened with the Bitcoin miners last week against Bitcoin. We'll take a look at what happened with Bitcoin over the weekend here. It has been great, right? A whale selling, market panics because of it. We'll cover that. We'll also take a look at the miners today. They actually did a really good job, all things considered, Bitcoin going down. So there's maybe a little reversal happening there. And then we'll also take a look at news stories from Iren. Iren bought more GPUs, Blackwells. Hive got to 16 exahash. Mara has got some news for Europe as well. And that should be it, I think. So we'll discuss it all as always. But you guys know the drill. Not financial advice for tomorrow only. Do your own research. Full disclosure below that. Hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. And it's good to be back here, even though Bitcoin basically gave up all the gains that we had on Friday. And then some, unfortunately. It was just a wild weekend here. So as you guys recall, Friday, we had a great Friday. Bitcoin was up 3.94%, almost 4% on the day. Papa Powell there spoke, being dovish on basically possible rate cuts happening here in September. Market loved it. Bitcoin miners, everybody loved it. But for whatever reason, over the weekend, somebody decided to sell quite a bit of Bitcoin, around 24,000, 22,000 Bitcoin, and the market just panicked at that point. So we had a sell-off on Saturday. We were down 1.3%. We were down 1.65 on Sunday. We were down again almost 3% here today, unfortunately. But the miners, for the most part, did actually pretty good here. All things considering with that going on. And then Bitcoin's down a little bit here now, and the new day down 0.35% as it is. Markets were down as well today across the board there. Ethereum was down actually a lot more here today. It was down 8.43% down. It's up a little bit now in the new hours. But Bitcoin here right now, I did say that we might go down to the 100 SMA, right, which is the blue line here. And I was thinking we would actually bounce off of that. I think the whale selling triggered that fall even further here, unfortunately, because we would have had support there. That obviously didn't hold, so we had some support back here that you can see along these lines, right around the 109,000 mark. So maybe that holds here and we bounce. We'll see on that, as long as that whale doesn't sell anymore, because that whale does have more to sell here. So this is news, obviously, over the weekend here. For the weekend, a massive Bitcoin whale dumped over the weekend has sparked major liquidations, dragging BTC to a key support zone near 113, actually went down below that. A single BTC whale sold 24,000 Bitcoin on Sunday, worth $2.7 billion, catalyzing a 4,000 crash in minutes. However, they still hold 152,874 BTC, valued at more than $17 billion. Hopefully they hold off on selling for a while. And yeah, I mean, that's rough, right? Whenever that happens here. So they basically, they sold 2.7 billion. Geez. If that's 24,000, he's got basically another 6x of that. So that's just it's 3, 6. He's got another 18 billion worth of Bitcoin there as it is. And he's been holding it for quite a while, for over 5 years, I think. Yeah, 5+ years. The coins had remained untouched for 5+ years here. So that guy, but 2.7 billion, you should be able to live comfortably there. Leave the rest alone for later on, I would say. But we'll see what that person does, or that whale, whoever that is, that group, whoever that is, that has that much. We'll see what they do with it here. Okay, miners, for the most part, like I said, had a pretty much a good day here, except for a couple. Bitfarms was down a little bit, 2.36%. BitTier was down 1.72%. Kang was actually up 2.24%. Continuing a nice little run up here recently in the last 3 days. Cypher was up also 4.08%. Cleanspark was down 3.7% here. CORZ was up just a little bit, 0.96. Hive was up nicely, 4.76%. Hut E was up just a little bit, 0.34. Iren had a great day, 7.89, reaching a new all-time high for that one. We'll talk about the news story that came out for them today, buying more GPUs as well. So that stock has been doing really well for me. I'm close to being up 200% on that one. I may look into taking some profits here. They do have their financial results coming out to the 28th, I believe it is, right, for their fiscal year-end numbers, which was there for Q4 or Q2. We'll see. We'll see how things go. But right now, the stock is doing fantastically. But like I said, I may actually take some profits off of that a little bit, maybe just a little bit on it, because I'm up so nicely on it. Mara was down 5.46%. Riot was up just a little bit, 0.45%, and Wolf was down 2.51%. This thing has, after the news came out, obviously with the deal with FluidStack, That has come down here a little bit. So we'll see where that one ends up at. MicroStrategy and some of the Ethereum or Bitcoin hodlers. MicroStrategy was down 4.17% here. Galaxy was down 3.7. Block was down 0.5. Coin was down 4.3. Metaplanet was down 7% here. Exodus was down 3.92. Nexon was down just a little bit, 0.36. Semler was down 4.49. Phoenix was down 0.19. Game was down 0.92. Small miners were down for the most part, except for Annie and Mawson there. Bitcoin miner ETFs, they were in the red here, except for WGMI being in the green here. So that was kind of nice. I own a bunch of that for my retirement account. Ethereum hodlers, well, BMNR was down 7.27%. BT Digital was down 3.47%. BTCS was down quite a bit, 10.37%. Game was up a little bit, 0.7%, and SBET was down 8.15%. Bitcoin dominance here was up today, which was kind of interesting to see. It was up 1.46%, and then we're down a little bit here. It's definitely on the low side still, though, right? We reached a low here recently, at least at 57.69% on the dominant side of things for it. Miners in the after hours here are kind of mixed. Some are up, some are down. BitDeer is actually up a little bit, 0.15%. Bitfarms up a little bit, 0.81%. Kango is down 0.2%. Cypher is up 0.45%. Cleanspark is down another 1.6%. Core Scientific is now up 0.22%. Hive is up 0.76%. Hut 8 is down 1.41%. Iren is down 0.61%. Mara is down 0.84%. Riot down 3.16%. And TeraWolf is down 0.22% in the after hours as it is. Bitcoin here right now for the month of August. Not a great month for us right now, at least. Down 5.23%. We were hoping for a green month. We have a couple more days to go. I mean, not much. We have basically, 6 more days to go in trading for August here in Bitcoin. We'll see if we can squeak out a green month. It's going to be tough, though. Maybe tough and rough, I think, to squeak that out here. So we'll see if we get a positive. And then if we do get rate cuts in September, that might be a better month for us. But historically, with the bull runs, we would think that August would be a good month here, like in 2021, 2017 as well. And in 2013, those were pretty good months here in August. Otherwise, it was a red month historically otherwise. Now on Bitcoin ETF inflows here, we saw inflows. This today, at least, we were still waiting on IBIT to report, but we're up 148. So if IBIT sold more than that, which we saw happen on Friday last week, right? The other ones were buying. IBIT was selling there. We'll see what happens there. And then going on to the news stories that we do have here for these guys. First one's going to be on Hive Digital. They announced that they have crossed 16 exahash, marching towards 25 exahash. And so today they surpassed 16 exahash per second of global Bitcoin mining hash rate, marking another major milestone in its journey towards 25 exahash by Thanksgiving. This is great to see that they are still continuing to build this out in a nice, timely manner here. This progress has lifted Hive's daily Bitcoin output above 8 BTC, doubling the company's production from May of this year. So that's good to see there as well. See, they still have obviously quite a ways to go there. Deployment will then begin at the Phase 3 Valenzuela site in September, the final stage of Hive's fully funded path to 25 exahash, at which point Hive's daily Bitcoin production is projected to reach 12 Bitcoin per day. Based on obviously Bitcoin network difficulty and things like that, with Hive having a global fleet efficiency of approximately 17.5 joules per terahash, representing nearly 3% of the global supply at current network difficulty. That is going to be a really, really nice job by them from where they were just last year, right? You guys know I kind of harped on them a little bit because they weren't growing as much. They weren't as ambitious as I thought as other miners were. But this year they have definitely proved me wrong. And this is nice to see, right? I definitely wanted to see them grow more, and they are doing it. So will that be enough for them to get to 25 exahash? Is that going to be like their scale, right? Scale portion. When I mean scale, is like a lot of these guys, Cleanspark getting to like 50 exahash, Iren getting to 50 exahash. That's kind of where they need to get to scale more or less to fund operations, fund overhead, all those things need to be paid for. That's kind of where some of these guys need to get to. 25 exahash, is that going to be enough for them? I don't know. We'll see where the numbers come in at once they report on the quarterly results. We'll see how they come in at that point as well. So nonetheless, this is really good. I really like seeing that they're growing here based on those numbers here for Hive. See, it looks like they are going to be generating approximately for the month here, based on the miners being installed for roughly 20 days, maybe or so on average. I got them at about 25 million right now. right now. It's an estimate right now. We'll see where they come in as far as production is concerned, but it's still a nice improvement over the 23 million that they had in July. So they are growing in revenue, even though Bitcoin's kind of heading downwards a little bit. So that's nice to see there. Okay, next here we have obviously the news story from Iren here. Iren purchases 4.2 thousand NVIDIA Blackwell GPUs and secures financing. AI cloud expanded to 8.5 thousand GPUs now. So here's what we got. Let's see. Today, Iren announced it has procured an additional 4.2 thousand NVIDIA Blackwell B200 GPUs, which doubles Iren's total GPU fleet to approximately 8.5 thousand. NVIDIA GPUs. In addition, Iren has secured financing of $102 million for a prior purchase of NVIDIA Blackwell 200B 300 GPUs. This was probably a couple of weeks back, if you recall, going back that far. Financing for prior Blackwell purchase. Iren has secured the $102 million in financing in respect of the prior purchase of NVIDIA Blackwell B200 and B300 GPUs. The financing is structured as a 36-month lease for 100% of the purchase price of the GPUs, with lease payments calculated utilizing a high single-digit interest rate, so I'm guessing somewhere around 8-9% at that point. The financing will release funding to support further growth initiatives, including the procurement of further NVIDIA Blackwell GPUs. So they are going at this alone, it looks like. They're not waiting for a hyperscaler or somebody that's enterprise customer or anything like that to co-locate with them. They are trying to become a neo cloud provider or just a hyperscaler themselves, it seems like. And which is something that Mike Alfred has talked about, right? That they have the optionality to do that if they wanted to. So that's kind of very interesting there to see that they are moving so fast in this direction and so aggressively as well, which one I like. To see how that's going to play out in the long run. I think it might actually play out pretty well, especially if they're the only ones that, well, I mean, not the only ones, but maybe one of few companies that can actually plug these Blackwells in, especially if they need to be liquid cooled for chip cooling, right? So I'm blown away by this. This could be really, really good for shareholders if they can continue to increase the revenues going forward from this, get customers that are just using as needed kind of service, kind of like a hyperscaler. Let's see here. Additional Blackwell purchase. Iren has also secured an additional 4.2 thousand NVIDIA Blackwell B200 GPUs for approximately 193 million, including ancillary equipment. Financing conversions are underway in respect of these GPUs, with the initial commitment made from existing cash. So they paid for cash, but they are looking to get these financed here. And these new B200s will be installed at Iren's Prince George campus. This is in Canada. Total installed mining capacity is expected to remain at 50 exahash following efficient utilization of spare data center capacity at other sites. So that's good there. This purchase will expand Iren's AI cloud over the coming months to approximately 8.5 thousand NVIDIA GPUs, consisting of 800 NVIDIA H100s. So they've had those for probably over a year now, I'm guessing, maybe even more, maybe even close to 2 years. The 1.1 thousand NVIDIA H200s. Then we got the 5.4 thousand NVIDIA B200s and 1.2 thousand of the B300s there. Let's see, with 50 megawatts of total power capacity, Iren's Prince George campus is able to support phased growth to 20,000 Blackwell GPUs. So that's awesome to see as well. So they're planning to expand this out even more and more. So they're getting probably smaller companies to sign up with them for a couple months, maybe a month, 2 months, 3 months, maybe 6 months, maybe a year even, where they're utilizing these for their own purposes there. And that's probably actually better revenue than if you go with a co-location. I'd have to look into it. Some other guys might have better data on that than I do. But yeah, it's definitely interesting and very exciting at the same time. Let's see. That's it. So that's awesome news there, obviously, for Iren. Iren stock obviously is doing pretty well here, reaching a 52-week high here on them, or all-time high even. Not an all-time high, it's a 52-week high for them. Next here we got Mara. Mara advances international growth strategy with leadership appointments and regional headquarters in Europe. So today they announced actions to further expand its presence in Europe. Mara has welcomed Gerard Mestralet as a senior advisor in Mara and appointed Francois Garson as general manager of Europe. The company also announced that it has established Paris, France as its new European headquarters. Okay, so a couple of thoughts on that. I believe typically electrical pricing is higher in Europe than what we see here in the United States and other parts of the world. I don't know I'm a little puzzled, I guess you could say, by this. That might be a good thing. I don't know. But the good thing here is This Mestralet gentleman is a respected business leader in Europe with a career spanning decades in the global energy and infrastructure sectors, where he served as chairman and CEO of NG for over 20 years. When I was mining Bitcoin with my friend, right, helping him managing the farm there, we actually used NG as we had a 3-year contract with them for power. So I'm pretty familiar with them. He serves as the special envoy appointed by the president of France, Emmanuel Macron, for the India, Middle East, East Europe Economic Corridor, and has also advised French and European governments on energy and industrial policy. So this guy's got the chops, right? He's got the expertise, he's got the knowledge, he's got the connections that they might need to possibly do something meaningful there. Mestralet has held board positions with Siemens, Saudi Electric Company, Saint Gobain, XAA, SocGen, Credit, whatever that, Agricole. Was a member of the International Advisory Board of JP Morgan and Company and was the president of Paris Europlace. Mestralet is widely recognized for his role in shaping Europe's energy infrastructure over the past 3 decades. So hopefully he wasn't part of that pipeline there with Russia. Nonetheless, so this is getting interesting for them as well. I'm not sure how this is going to play out, right, with the electrical prices being rather high in Europe. Not sure what they can do there. Maybe they can go into, well, we'll have to wait and find out, right? But they're obviously expanding into Europe as well. So there maybe there are some opportunities there to get cheap electricity still. And we just don't know about it. Or at least I don't know about it. So we'll keep an eye on this, see how this goes forward for them as well on that one. And that's it. That's all the news I got for you guys here on this. Let's get into the Bitcoin miners here this past week. How did they do against Bitcoin? As always, I track this from week to week on Fridays here. So here's the weekly numbers, but we always look at the miners where they are from their 52-week lows to their 52-week highs here. And obviously, Iren is kicking butt right now. It's up 318% from its 52-week low. Kango is up 250%. Kango, I got to always kind of preface that they just became a miner here recently since December of last year. Cypher's up nicely as well, 243%. Strategy is up 215% in the last 52 weeks from its bottom. BitDeer up 147%. Bitcoin's up 122%. So we do have quite a few more miners here outperforming Bitcoin here in the last year. Core is pretty close to Bitcoin, 118% up. Riot 113% as well. Hive is up 100% here, even outperforming Marathon, being up 66.1%, and Cleanspark towards the end here, 52.2%. So both Marathon and Cleanspark historically have been more of the pure play miners, and obviously they're not getting love for that. We have heard comments from Marathon and both from Cleanspark as well that they are looking into HPC AI. And then you can see how far they are away from their 52-week highs here, with Hive still being quite a ways away, 54% there. BitDeer 50% away, Kango 49% away as well, Mara 46%, Cleanspark 45% away from that, and you got Iren only being 8.3%. And this was last week, so it's even closer than that now. They reached a new all-time high there as it is. For last week, though, we had Cypher outperforming everybody here, being up 22%, Riot being up 17%, Hive 14%, Iren up 9%, Marathon 4%, Kango up 2%, Cleanspark 1%, BitDeer basically being flat there, maybe down a little bit. Bitcoin was down a little bit as well. Strategy being down 2% and Core being down 4%. So all these guys have at least outperformed slightly to greatly on Bitcoin for last week. On the 4 weeks time frame, Bitcoin's up 3%. Everybody pretty much has outperformed, or at least got close. Yeah, except for Cleanspark. Cleanspark and Strategy are both down compared to Bitcoin there. Biggest gainer has been Iren, up 39% here. Cypher, 29% on the 8 weeks. Things changed a little bit. Again, we got Bitcoin being up 8% here. Only ones that outperformed at that point is Riot, just barely 9%, Hive also barely 9%, and Iren up 27%. Biggest losers in the last 8 weeks have been Core being down 25%, Cleanspark down 20% there. And then on the 12-week time frame, we can see Bitcoin's up 12% here. And we got everybody except for Kango, BitDeer, and Strategy kind of at least outperforming Bitcoin here on that time frame. And Iren doing really, really well, up 155%. Cypher up 104% as well. As you guys recall, I took some profits from Iren already and Cleanspark and got into Cypher, about 2-3 weeks ago now. So that was a pretty good call there, I think, going forward. And with Iren being up so nicely again, I may take some more profits off of Iren here, and maybe I'll move some more into Cypher and possibly, depending where Cleanspark goes. If Cleanspark goes under $9, I may buy into that one a little bit more. And the other one I'm kind of looking at right now is also possibly BitDeer here. That's another one I'm kind of looking at to see. I know that they have a lot of growth here happening later on this year, and next year. So those are the ones I'm kind of looking to see maybe if I can squeeze a little bit more out of them. But we'll see. All right. So that's it. That's all we got for you guys. Spreadsheets are available to the Patreon members. Link for that is down in the description. That's my sales pitch. If you want to join, it's a couple bucks a month, and you get access to our private Discord server as well, and access to all the data that I have on the miners also. Okay, so that is it. Let's get into Q&A here. It's good to be back, and hopefully my throat doesn't give out completely because it's starting to get a bit scratchy here and a bit rough. So I'm going to take a sip of my water, and we'll get into Q&As as well. So as always with Q&As, if you could preface those with a question mark or a Q, I would appreciate it. And I'm going to scroll my way up as always. I'm going to work my way down. So be patient. If you have a question or comment, I will get to it eventually. Okay. That kind of helped a little bit. Yeah, I don't know if it's just a summer cold or something like that. Just hit me up. I don't have a fever or anything. It's just my throat for some reason is hurting and started coughing a little bit as well. All right. Let's see here. What do we got going on here? All right. All right. Bitchin82 says, sold some calls today against 30% of my Iren shares. Rather good premium received. Very nice. Guys, should we lose hope on Cleanspark to do a 2x from here this year? I still haven't lost hope there, but that's going to be dependent on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin doesn't go up to where we think it's going to go up to, 180,000, 200,000 by the end of the year, we may not get the 2x on Cleanspark at that point, at the bare minimum, I would think. Freddie, chances Iren goes to 30 this week after earnings. Earnings we know are going to be pretty good here for them, or at least they should be. They should be EPS positive still on their operations for Bitcoin mining. We'll get an update as also on their GPU services business. We'll see how much they're generating there. We kind of know already because they kind of provide that in the monthly updates as well. So that should be good, but hopefully we'll get a little bit more tidbits. Hopefully we get a little bit more positive outlook on a potential deal with somebody for the 2 gigawatts that they have at Sweetwater for that site. So yeah, we'll see. Neville says Iren's decoupling from BTC. Expect Cypher and Bitfarms to do the same. That would be nice to see as well. Dan says Iren, oh boy. Okay, Dan says Iren, huge sell-off at earnings. So you think that the earnings are going to be the catalyst to sell off at that point? Might be, right? That's kind of why I'm thinking maybe take a little bit of profit. Not much, maybe 5 to 10% of what I got in it. Take the profits while they're there. Let's see, B82 says Hive is getting ready to move, possibly. Again, the only concern that I have with them is that they don't have any operations in the United States, right? No mining sites or anything like that. I don't know if not having that, if that's going to be an impediment to their growth and love from investors potentially. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Steven says, I sold all Cleanspark, will sell all Mara at 17. Okay. Anything that you're looking to buy or just in general that you're selling out of the miners? Let's see. See, Sour asked, why would you sell Cleanspark at $9? If you got in lower, right? I'm still in profit on that one. Profit's gone down. I was at 140% just a couple weeks ago, and now it's down to like 80%, 75, 80%. Let's see. B82 says, if big volumes sell from the long-time holder and subsequent margin calls only drops BTC 10%, then we are in good place, builds a more stable base to launch from a new highs. That is also true. Let's see. Goswell Odie says, well done, Seb. Thank you. I'm guessing on the trade from Cleanspark and Iren into Cypher there a little bit as well. Dan says we should sell and take our profits, scale in later. Yeah, I also agree, right? If you're in nice profit, there's no shame in taking profits. It's actually a good thing. You lock those in. Right? You can also leave a little bit on the table, let it run. Many ways to play it. B82 says, bought more clean calls in Cleanspark today. It will move once focus comes back to BTC. There's always that possibility as well, yes. Neville says, I sold my Cleanspark at a slight profit, slightly north of $9, rotated into Cypher. Couldn't be happier, okay? So you did kind of what I did. I didn't sell all my Cleanspark shares. I sold a bit there, along with Iren, and bought into Cypher there. I'm happy with that decision as well. David says, there's a lot of companies raising money to buy Bitcoin. It will stay down will not stay down for long. Yeah. Andrew, nice work. Seb, thank you. Ratchet's got a question. I hold lots of Hive. If they are fully funded with, why they diluting so much and adding right and left to their free float? They have diluted a lot in the past year to buy out the site from Bitfarms in, where's it, Paraguay? I think it's Paraguay site. To buy the miners as well, right? To buy the ASICs, so they're doing that. Why are they diluting more? I think they bought another data center for a regular data center in Canada. That might have been a part of it for some of it there. General corporate purposes, I'm guessing as well, and maybe some optionality for something else that pops up, right? So I don't know. We'll see what the dilution that we have for them right now. I do have some of that data, but I'm still waiting on Iren to report before I provide that to you guys. But it looks like Hive, from Q2 of last year to Q2 of this year, they diluted about 87%, 87 million shares at that point. That represented about 74% dilution in them. That was some of the highest dilution that we've seen here out of the miners here over a year-over-year time frame, at least, on them. So we'll talk about that once Iren reports. We'll look at all the miners here as far as how much they diluted at that point as well. But just wanted to give that out to you guys there. KBW says Mara is trash. Mara is definitely not getting the love, right? They're being valued mainly on their Bitcoin HODL, nothing else. All right. Reggie says, bought a few hundred Cleanspark again today. Okay. Kind of, what's that emoji there for it? Kind of nervous a little bit. All right. Midwest Picker, how low is Bitcoin going? I mean, I would think that we are close to the bottom here. We're down about 12% on Bitcoin as it is from the top here, if you look at it. So let's take a look at this screen here. We can see that Bitcoin obviously topped out at 124,000. If we go from there roughly down to where we bottomed out, that was about 12.5%, 12.6%, something like that, more or less. And that kind of gets us back to some of the support that we saw right around here, right, which was right around the 109,000 mark, 108,000 mark, or something like that. I was hoping that we would bounce off the 100 SMA, but we didn't do that. And I said at that point, if we don't bounce off of that, we'll come down. But I thought we might bounce and then we actually would go up. But that didn't happen. The whale selling definitely didn't help here over the weekend. That brought us down below it. We had a nice bounce here on, when was it, Saturday? Yeah, Saturday. We went below the 100 SMA and then we bounced off of it. I thought that was going to be pretty good here, but then the whale came in on Sunday and kind of messed everything up here for us. So there's some panic, obviously. But I think that's going to be short-lived, and I think we will go up. If we don't hold this here right now, our next line of defense will probably be right around here, which is right around 106,000 at that point. And if that doesn't hold, I'm thinking we're going probably right to like 103,000, something like that. And then if that doesn't hold, we're going down to the 200 SMA, which would be right around 100,000. At that point, that would be a, 20-some% correction on it. Yeah, it'd be roughly 19%, 20% correction on it from the top there, which we have seen that obviously play out here already. Well, we've seen 30% plus corrections play out here in the last year alone. We had it just this past year, or this year in January to April, right? We went down from there to there. That was 32% correction. And then last year when we hit the 72,000 before the Hemi event, which is right there, we did go down eventually after going sideways for many months here. We did bottom out here, 33%. This was 145 trading days. And that took us to August, basically, from middle of March, more or less. So hopefully this is all that we get out of this. Because if we do go down 33% from where we are right now, which wouldn't be good, but 33% would bring us back down to right around here, right around 82,000. So there's definitely some support there for sure on that. So I'm hoping that we bounce here, but we'll see. I don't think that we're going down that far. Not with all the adoption and everything else that we were seeing here. But I could be wrong. We'll see. Time will tell, right? Time reveals everything to us. Unfortunately, we don't have a crystal ball to see into that future. Okay. KBW says, Mara's dilution coming to pay off Mestralet's compensation. Oh, they're going to have to pay them? Yeah, for sure. Sarmelon's going to buy some more Cleanspark. Okay. See, Jordan K says, Chris is on X posting about DOT to 30. Not sure which one is DOT. I have to look into that one. Okay, MJS. Question, is it time to dump Cleanspark and buy Cypher and others? That's going to be your call, right? I did sell a little bit of Cleanspark and Iren 2-3 weeks ago and bought Cypher at that point. That was maybe about 2 weeks ago when TeraWolf reported the deal with FluidStack, right? I felt like I didn't have any exposure to Cypher at that time, and I had plenty of exposure into Cleanspark and Iren. Both of those have run up nicely, so I'm like, okay, let me take some profits out of those, get a little bit of exposure into Cypher as well. So I did that. Neville says the best time to buy the dip is usually the month of the rate cuts. Okay, so that's going to be next month. Okay. Let's see. No. Iren will get a deal this year. Stop doubting them. I hope they do, right? I have a lot of shares in them, and I hope they do. But right now, maybe they're going to do a two-prong approach. They're going to, build out their own GPU units, servers, get customers that way as well. And they're going to do also a co-location deal with somebody. That could also play out that way. Let's see. Freddie, if you were to lock in all of your Iren profits and roll it 50% into two other miners, what two miners would you pick? Oh, gosh. Man. Okay, so that's a lot. That would be a lot of cash right now. Jeez. I would have to do some really, really deep thinking on that one. Right now, I would probably look to get into, I'd probably buy a little bit more Bitfarms. I think that one's way undervalued. That one has a site in Pennsylvania, or two sites in Pennsylvania. I know one of the sites could be a good possibility for HPC AI, but that might not be until 2026. Cypher, I think I would like to get a little bit more exposure into that one as well, and possibly BitDeer. And then depending where Cleanspark goes, if Cleanspark goes below $9 or something like that, probably a little bit more than that. But I wouldn't go just into two other miners. From one miner to down to two, yeah, I would have to diversify a little bit more because you just never know with these things. Sadie, thank you so much for the likes as always. George has a question here. Did Zach leave Cleanspark because he did not want to pursue AI? We are theorizing that might be the case, right? We're speculating. We don't know that for a fact. It was stated in the press release that he's leaving for family reason, I think is what they called it. So, we're theorizing that is the case because a week later we hear Matt talking about HPCI ambitions as well. So that could be it. All right, Mr. X, question. In word today that the recent BTC dip was caused by a whale cashing out his Bitcoin. Was that true? Yes, that was true. That whale sold 24,000 Bitcoin worth 2.71 billion or something like that. And they still have over 150,000 Bitcoin still left. So they still have a lot of cash on the table there. All right, Steven. Hey, Sebastian, how is Bitcoin going to 1 million if there will be a Bitcoin winter for 4 years? I bought Cypher, Iren, SoFi from Cleanspark profits and have cash position. So glad to get rid of Cleanspark. Okay, how will Bitcoin get to 1 million? I think it's going to get there within the next, I would say, 5 to 8 years, I would think. And the reason it's going to possibly get there, we're already seeing the cycle be way different than we've seen in the past. Yeah, we said the same thing last cycle, right? We had more adoption back then. We had... what was it? The guy that went to jail for, what was it? FTX, right? We had FTX, right? We had other things happening as well. But this time around, we got so much more institutions, BlackRock, Fidelity, states buying it, countries buying it, companies buying it, Bitcoin treasury companies now also. All of the stuff that's pointing to it, and we're seeing a different cycle play out because of the price action itself right now. I mean, Bitcoin's only up for the year. It's not up much. It's pretty small amount compared to what we have seen in the past year. Bitcoin right now is up only, for the year, it is up 17.42%, right? Last year, we were up 120%. The year prior, we were up 155%. Obviously, we were down in 2022. Down 64%, but the year prior in 2021, we were up 59%. The year prior to that, we were up 304%, and we're only up 17% this year. Kind of lackluster, right, compared to what we're used to with Bitcoin here. So a couple other things that we saw that's making me think that we're going to have an extended cycle is because Bitcoin is obviously having these longer drawn out corrections where it goes sideways for a while or actually down over a number of months instead of a number of days like we saw in the past cycles. Reaching a new 52 or reaching a new high before the halving event, that's never happened as well. So just all those things are pointing to a potentially different cycle this time around, where Bitcoin could potentially go up, 25, 30% a year, and we have that same thing happen again next year, right? We go up maybe 40% or 20%, but it's just going to be lower percentage gains, but higher dollar amounts, basically. That's just kind of my thoughts. We'll see if that plays out as well. Okay. Neville says the cycle is busted. No way we see multi-year bear market until well after 2027. And even after that, I think it's going to depend largely on the economy and everything. Yeah, so I'm with you on that, I think. Mark says AI demand is pretty good. Iren and other miners could make a lot of money if they establish themselves as data centers, just like CoreWeave. It's very ambitious with awesome potential. There's definitely potential for it there, but we need to see more action happening in the space with hyperscalers getting into bed with some of these miners. Right now, we've only seen really CoreWeave go to town with Core Scientific, Galaxy, and Applied Digital as well. We've seen now FluidStack, which is backed by Google, get into bed with TeraWolf there, right? But that's it. That's basically all we've seen here so far. So we need to see some more of that happening here, I think. Let's see here. DeFly as price target for Iren. I think right now, based on Bitcoin, just for Bitcoin mining things, I think they're pretty well priced as it is. They could be up even higher than there. I think I'm at even higher from where they are, but let me see here. Iren really quick as well. Let's take a look at that one. Iren, okay. Right now, based on, okay, so this is including some of their HPC business as well. So this is including 2.3 million of their monthly HPC revenue in there, along with what they made in July. So based on that, I'm between 34.59 and 51.89. That's just on their Bitcoin mining business as it is. Right now, include any type of HPCI potential. They could definitely go up higher from there on it. And their current run rate is about 1 billion annually right now. So if you look at the last 3 quarters and the current quarter that we just finished in Q4 for them, which is our Q2, I am between $14.99 and $22, right? They're currently at $23 and something. So that's looking backwards. Looking forward, they should be valued higher because the revenues are going to be increasing as well at that point. So that's kind of where I would see them at, more or less. All right, let's go back here. All right, what else we got here? David says there was a slight delay with Bitcoin rising when ETFs got approved before it started taking off. Do you think this could be happening again with the introduction of the pension funds? I don't. We've already seen pension funds getting into it. There's some pension funds in Canada, some in the United States have gotten into it. A lot of them are getting into it through IBIT, through BlackRock, ETF there. So I don't know. I don't think that was going to be the case, though. The machine asks, are you still holding Cleanspark? Yes, I am still holding under Cleanspark there. All right. Mark says, what would happen if Iren's such a small company become data center just like CoreWeave? What would happen? Obviously, they would have to be valued much higher, especially since they have 2 gigawatts and a pipeline of some more megawatts behind that as well. They should definitely be valued much higher, but they would need to buy a heck of a lot more, build out data centers as well. It's going to be a costly venture for them. A lot of that stuff would need to be funded, and hopefully they can get it funded through project-specific financing, so that maybe they don't have to dilute as much at that point. DeFly asks, are you selling Cleanspark if it reaches 15 to 20 bucks and move it to some other miners or something else? Depending on what's causing the move, right? Is the move being caused by Bitcoin going up, or is the move because of their HPCI ambitions? So that would be interesting to see there. I think that they're undervalued from where they really should be, right? They have the same... hash rate wise is the same as Iren. Their cost to mine is a little bit higher than Iren's, which isn't too bad. It's still pretty low considering everything else. And they do have a hodl position of, 12,500 Bitcoin right now. So they're definitely being way undervalued by, at least 2x from where they are right now. Just to be on par with Iren, I think. But Iren does have 2 gigawatts of potential power that could be utilized for something. And I think that's what they're being valued on more as well. Plus, they're great operations for it. So I'm holding on to it right now. I don't know if I would sell at that point just yet, but it would depend on what the catalyst is for it. All right. The machine asks, why do you think Cleanspark and Mara are not getting any love? Prior, it was because they did not have any HPC-AI ambitions, I think. I think that the narrative changed this cycle around to miners that are getting into HPC-AI. Those have been benefiting because of that. Whereas Mara, Cleanspark, even Cleanspark has not been diluting anything since November of last year. And they've grown to 50 exahash rate. They've done all the things that they said they're going to do. They're just not getting the love. And I think it's because the HPC-AI portion of it. That's kind of what I'm thinking. The same thing for Mara, too. Let's see. Defi asks, are you buying a Telegram stock called Verb? This might do better than miners. I have not. I've not even heard of that one. Steve Wistort, sorry. I'm in good profit on Mara, but I'm going to sell it all. Got bad vibes, going more in cash for dips in Cypher, Wolf, Bull, different AI companies. Oh, I bought a ton of Neo. Check Neo out. Neo is that the Chinese car company, I believe, right? Okay, DeFly, are you buying SBET? 1-to-1 MNAV to asset. Their Ethereum staking is 3%, which is 110 million per year at current ETH price. This should trade at least 1.3 MNAV. Well, that's one of the things that I just don't care too much for the treasury companies, whether it's MicroStrategy or anybody else that's doing it. I love the fact that they're doing it, but I don't see how they should get a huge premium on it when I can buy the asset outright. What is the charm there? Yes, they're staking it for Ethereum, so you can get it that way. MicroStrategy could become a bank of Bitcoin eventually if they wanted to. They could make money on it that way, but even at that point, how much of a yield should they get, or MNAV premium should they get? I don't know. I'm thinking at most, I would say 1.3 would be like the most that they should get. At times, they can kind of rocket beyond that a little bit, I think, but it should be for a short period of time, and it should come back to reality, which is kind of what we've seen here. So for that reason, I'm not getting into those things. Okay. Will you sell if Iren runs to 50 with a deal? I would sell probably... I'll probably sell... 50 would be nice. 50, that would give me... I would probably sell 25% of it to maybe 50% of it at that point and let the rest run. See where we go from there. All right. Freddie asks, is Cleanspark over or undervalued according to your spreadsheets? It's undervalued right now. It should be. I can pull that up for you as well. Based on their operations for July, multiplying it times 12 months, right? Looking forward here, they should be somewhere between 24 to 37. They're at 945 right now, so they are way, way under, right? Their run rate here is about 928 million right now as it is for annual run rate. Based on it, pretty close to where Iren is. Iren is getting a little bit of addition there from the Bitcoin, not Bitcoin, from the HPC-AI business that they also have there. But they're pretty close to each other. Yeah, and they're pretty close to number of share count as well. So, yeah, I think that they're way undervalued as it is already. So that's why I'm saying if it falls below $9 or something like that, I may look to pick some more up at that point. Because I think Matt and company there are going to do whatever they can to get the stock back up and possibly move into HPCI as well. Right? They're not ones to lie down or fight lying down, more or less is what I'm trying to say. Okay, back here. Got a couple more questions here. Okay, Sarmon says MicroStrategy's trash going to sub 300. Yeah, there's just a lot of questions circulating around that one because of all the preferred shares that they have and everything else. Kind of like, why should you buy the MSCR stock when you can buy the preferred shares in it? That's a lot of stuff there. DeFly, would you swap Mara for Cleanspark at these levels? Oh gosh, I think Mara is also undervalued. I don't think Mara is getting priced on what they have as far as asset wise. Yes, they do have obviously convertible notes that are dead on there. That's over $2 billion, I believe it is. But yeah, it's just tough with Mara. Mara has a much higher cost to mine than like Iren or Cleanspark does. That doesn't help out the executive suite there has had huge compensation as well. That might be off-putting to some investors, so that might be another reason why. On that one, yeah, I don't know. That's going to be a call you have to make. Cass says MSTR under 300 is a good buy. Where would their MNEV be at that point, right? I think if you get an MNEV under 1, that would be a good buy. I would say even maybe between 1.0 to 1.10 if you can get around there. That might not be a bad deal also. All right, Steven says the problem with Cleanspark Mara, they seem like they don't care about shareholders and more about lining their pockets, and short sellers holding the stocks down, load up on Cypher, who's awaiting HPC deal. But that's just not them. That's I'm not saying this is not them. It's not just them that does that, right? You got other companies in this space that also seem to be of that same nature, where they're lining their pockets more so than they are interested about what's going on with the shareholders there. So I'm with you on that part. And hopefully that changes here. I think there's definitely a lot of pushback, not only from retail, but from institutions. Van Eck actually has talked with Riot, and they're like, hey, this is kind of egregious here. And even Riot at that point has stated, yeah, they're going to change their tune here next year, second half at least. Going forward, they're going to keep that down, but maybe it might be a little too late at that point. I don't know. But yeah, I agree that some of these companies are getting paid way, way, way too much for the amount of revenue and shareholder profits or shareholder value in shareholders, right? Hasn't kept up with the amount that they're getting for compensation there. So I agree on that one. All right, I think I'm all caught up to your guys' questions. We're going to call it a day. We are going on, what time is it now? It is 10:16. All right, not too bad. We're going on 45 minutes here. So yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow with Bitcoin. We'll see where that one ends up at. Is this the bottom, or are we going to see another leg down here? Hopefully not. See, this is Bitcoin right now. I mean, on the 4-hour chart, we can see here the RSI is at 30 roughly. It was at 30 here prior. Price was higher at that point. Don't like seeing that. We saw it here also where the RSI was below 30. Price was higher. Over here, price was higher as well. Don't like seeing that setup here on the 4-hour chart. 1-hour chart, let's see how that one looks. Kind of same thing. We're looking at the troughs here and the peaks to see where we are. We are lower in price, higher in RSI than we were here. Still not liking that on the 1-hour RSI, so we'll see where we go from there. RSI was way lower here than where it is right here, where price is actually lower. So yeah, on the 1-hour chart, still not liking that. On the 15-minute chart, let's see what we got here. Peak is here. Price, yeah, I mean, we need to see. I want to see where RSI is like at 30 here, and then eventually RSI at 30 here, and price is up here. I want to see that kind of setup here happening on the 15-minute chart, 1-hour chart eventually, and then the 4-hour chart, and then we'll kind of know that things are kind of turning around here as well. Okay, and then Kush asks here, let me see if we can push, not that one. Let me see if we can pull that one up really quick. Your question here, where is it at? Go here really quick. And let's see, where is it at? All right. And Kush asks, do you think the miners may run on the next BTC leg up? I think so, right? Especially if Bitcoin actually does do a nice run up to like 150,000, 180,000. We need a consolidated run up in Bitcoin price in order for the miners to do really well as well. Because right now what we've seen is Bitcoin has gone up, but then it flatlines and goes sideways or goes downwards, and the miners come down at that point as well. Miners need a nice, I wouldn't say straight run up, but at least a consolidated run up where you don't have this extended period of time where it goes sideways, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense for you guys, but that's kind of what I would like to see there play out. Sadie, as always, you're very welcome. Everyone else, thank you so much for coming in, spending the time here with me, as always, putting in your questions and thoughts and comments and everything else. Steven says, load up on Cypher. I have been buying Cypher, as you guys know. I'll probably buy some more as well. I'll see what I want to get into here next. But like I said, I may take a little profit off of Iren here just a little bit because, like I said, I'm almost close to 200% being up on it. So I need to take some profits off of there. But that's it. Yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll cover anything that else happens tomorrow. Nick Lee, you're very welcome. Thank you so much for coming in as well. And yeah, we'll cover it all. So appreciate you all. Have a great night. Love you all. I'll see you guys tomorrow.